In the Bobo Valley lived a loose bandit organisation who claimed affiliation with the Yellow Turbans. The Bobo Valley literally means White Wave Valley, and it's located in Shihi Commandery in Bing Province. Guo Da, nicknamed Big Guo, was the leader of the White Wave Bandits from the valley. It's said he was a remnant of the Yellow Turbans by Rafe de Crespigny and Karl Leban, which could mean that Guo Da was one of the original Turbans. The commandery where he was born, however, lies far away from where the original Turbans were active. Yu Fuluo was also associated with the White Wave Bandits. He had found no support in the Han court, so he ended up becoming a wandering mercenary who once worked under the Yellow Turbans. Around 188, they ravaged and plundered the commanderies of Daiyuan and Hedong, which lay east and south of Shihi respectively. What happened to Guo Da and his Yellow Turbans after their plundering is not exactly known, but Emperor Ling's biography tells us that the White Wave Bandits survived to play a role until the 190s. A former leader among the White Wave Bandits, Yang Feng, went on to become a subordinate under Li Jue. He followed along when they banded together to attack Chang'an and helped Li Jue and Guo Si seize control of the figurehead Emperor Xian. They did not have serious ambitions as they held the emperor hostage, and their incompetence in governance furthered the breakdown of the Han Empire into warlord regimes. 3 years later, they had a major fallout where Li Jue forcefully took control of the emperor. During this time of internal conflict in the streets, Yang Feng conspired with Song Guo to assassinate their superior, but failed, so they were forced to leave Chang'an. The emperor had also managed to get out of the city though, and began making his way back to Luoyang. Another one of Li Jue's subordinates, Shou Han, managed to convince Yang Feng to escort the emperor back to the old Han capital, while Zhang Ji managed to persuade his misguided partners to make peace. After 3 months, the emperor was allowed to return, so Guo Si went to fetch him. Yang Feng, Zhang Yang, Yang Ding, Dong Cheng and other loyalists had come to protect the emperor, where Yang Feng was appointed as general who revives righteousness. Dong Cheng's origins are obscure. Some say he was from the same clan as Dong Zhuo, while Pei Songji thinks he was a relative of Emperor Ling. When Hu Che put an end to Niu Fu's life, he also ended Dong Cheng's service to him. The loyalists reluctantly followed Guo Si back towards Chang'an until he decided to change his mind by taking the emperor to Mei County instead. The alarmed emperor fled to Yang Feng's camp for shelter, where he was protected when Guo Si tried to seize him back. A battle ensued, whereafter Guo Si retreated, and the emperor returned to Luoyang under Yang Feng's protection. Later that year, Li Jue and Guo Si were filled with regret, so they both led their troops to reclaim the emperor. Yang Feng met them in battle to slow their advance where he lost, so was pushed back, but he had summoned the White Wave Bandits to reinforce his ranks. On December the 24th in 195, the emperor came to Taoyang without shelter. His court was rendered poor and unable to fend for itself. It even struggled for the basic essentials like food and water. The White Wave Bandits led by Han Xian, Li Le and Hu Ts'ao soon came to his aid however. The worthy king of the west of the southern Xiongnu, Shou Bei, also responded to the call and arrived with several thousand horsemen. They joined Yang Feng and Dong Cheng in attacking Li Jue and his fellows, totally defeating them by killing several thousand. Being so successful, they wanted to do this more often, so had another attempt 2 weeks later when the emperor came out of Taoyang again and went back east. Han Xian was part of the rearguard as they escorted the emperor back to Luoyang, but Li Jue's reinforced army showed up, then defeated them where they suffered great losses. Several officials who fled with the emperor across the Yellow River were killed along the way, but the loyalists eventually rendezvoused with him, then arrived back at Luoyang around August of 196. In recognition of their contributions, Xu Huang was granted a marquis over a village, while Yang Feng was appointed as general of chariots and cavalry, then ordered to garrison at Liang State. Han Xian was appointed with authority as colonel director of retainers, but he often boasted about his achievements, which did not make him very popular among the others. The emperor's attendants were disorganized and soon began to quarrel with one another. Internal conflict broke out yet again, this time around Luoyang between the White Wave leaders and Dong Cheng. Han Xian camped at Wenxi and forced Dong Cheng into Yiwang, while Yang Feng decided to go to Wuxiang along with Hu Cai and Xu Huang. It was only due to the emperor's influence that they hadn't attacked each other yet, but they still fought daily. Hu Cai wanted to attack Han Xian, but the emperor told him not to, while Xu Huang suggested to Yang Feng to summon the warlord Cao so that they can pledge to him and he can put an end to it all. Yang Feng was persuaded by Xu Huang, so sent a letter to Cao, then memorials arrived at the camps of Yang Feng, Li Le and Han Xian. the emperor asked them to escort him to Luoyang, and they all obeyed the edict. He arrived in Wenxi on the 14th of July, but 5 days later, Han Xian and Yang Feng took him further eastward instead. Ts'ao led his forces into Luoyang, where he technically shared power with Dongcheng and Yang Feng, but was in fact taking command over the situation. Yang Feng quickly started to regret letting him in, and then went back on the idea to submit to him. Ts'ao easily collected Emperor Xian and then met with each of the loyalists. Dongcheng chose to ally with him, then reported Han Xian and Yang Feng's wrongdoings to the emperor, which led to them both being outcast from the city. Yang Feng attempted to attack Ts'ao but was either defeated or could not organize it in time, so he went his own way, and Xu Huang followed along with him. Later, he tried once more to stop Ts'ao from returning to Shu, but could not catch up with him in time. Ts'ao quickly came back though to defeat Yang Feng's army, then seized Liang State from him, whereafter he recruited the talented Xu Huang. With few to no options left, Yang Feng and Han Xiang lived the rest of their lives as lawless freebooters. First they fled to Yuan Shu. They pillaged and looted several counties in Yang and Shu under Yuan Shu's banner, before being sent under Zhang Shun to attack Lu Bu. They were incited into turning on Zhang Shun, so betrayed him, where he lost almost all of his soldiers. Then the duo pillaged more territories, this time under Lu Bu's banner. In time they ran out of supplies, so they asked Lu Bu if they could leave for Jing province. When he refused, they were forced into plundering villages around Xiapi in order to maintain their command. They were later sent by Lu Bu to loot Liu Bei's supplies, so Yang Feng entered into negotiations with him for a secret joint attack on Lu Bu. Liu Bei invited Yang Feng in to pay, but he was lured into a trap and beheaded, so Han Xian was now left isolated. He decided to make his way back to his home in the Bobo Valley, but was killed by the prefect of Xichui County along the way. Meanwhile, Dongcheng was given permission by the emperor to open his own office and have his own staff in the same way that Ts'ao did. The emperor feared he would be used as a trump card against rival warlords, so he tried to balance Ts'ao's power within the court. He appointed Dongcheng as the general of chariots and cavalry, and then took his daughter as a concubine. Dong would go on to receive a secret order from the emperor one day to assassinate Ts'ao, so he contacted a few officials to plot with, which included Liu Bei. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.